Hello, it's Miss G, back again with another selection from Eleanor Goulding Smith's great big messy book, richly, lavishly, and profusely, very carefully too, illustrated but also beautifully by who? Me? Dedicated to all the people all over the world who drop things. How to make your own Greek temple. Many people would like to make their own Greek temple in which to sit and pluck a lyre in the moonlight, but are afraid to try because they don't know exactly how to go about it. Actually, there is nothing difficult about it if you follow the simple step-by-step instructions. After you have made this easy, small temple, you can go on with no trouble to a more elaborate one. There's really no limit. You can make as many as you like, and you can make them bigger and more splendid and decadent. The first step is to select a suitable site. I suggest a nice flat hilltop with a lovely view. If you find a good hilltop that is too pointy, level it carefully. In any case, make absolutely certain that you have a nice, smooth, level place well tamped down on which to set your temple. This is extremely important, and the reason will become clear as you progress. Having selected your site and leveled it carefully, you may start making your plinth. Now, keep in mind that although you may have seen high plinths faced with carvings, this is not at all necessary. A plinth can be very simple, and that is how I think you should start your first temple. Simply collect a lot of nice square flat stones and lay them out exactly as shown in Figure 36. You will notice that after each 3 layers of stones, you make the succeeding 3 layers smaller, thus making nice little steps all around without even having noticed that you've done it. Please make sure that each stone is level and pressed up close to the next one before going on. Take my word for it, this is vital. See Figure 36. We are making here the really minimum Greek temple, a Greek temple boiled down to essentials. I have shown, therefore, a temple with only 12 columns. You could, if you wished, make yours larger. However, I think it wise for a beginner to stick exactly to the illustrations. Choose now 12 nice, even, square pieces of stone or marble if you prefer, and place them evenly around the plinth, being careful to line them up precisely so the edges are parallel to the edges of the plinth. Use a ruler to get them an even distance from the edges of the plinth. See Figure 37. You will notice that in the first pictures, I have shown a distant view as I wanted to show the placing of the plinth on the hilltop site. From here on, I will use a close-up view in order to give more exact details. I have spared no effort to make these illustrations absolutely clear and easy to follow. On top of each of your square pieces of stone or marble, which are, if you hadn't guessed yet, the bases for your columns, you place a nice round, flared piece of stone, and on top of that, a thin, round, cake-shaped slab. Center them nicely on your square bases. If there's anything I hate, it's a sloppily made Greek temple. See Figure 38. Now, you must choose which god or goddess you are making this temple to. You may make yours anyone you wish. I've chosen Athena as a good all-purpose basic goddess for my illustration. Make a nice statue and place it as shown in the illustration on its own nice high plinth with a few little steps in front. This is one of the most important procedures in making a Greek temple. You will notice that the statue is placed in the temple before the columns are erected. One of the most common mistakes of beginners is to put up the columns first and then try to squeeze the statue inside. This is why so many ancient Greek statues are found with broken arms, legs, spears, noses, helmet visors, feet, and etc. See figure 39. Now, you may start to place the bottom pieces of your columns on their bases. I have shown fluted columns because I think they're the prettiest, but there's no reason why you can't have plain round columns if you prefer. It is possible that you may wish to avail yourself of the help of your local stonecutter in making the parts of your columns. It is important, by the way, that the top and bottom of each piece of column be cut cleanly and squarely, its surface precisely perpendicular to the vertical surfaces. The reason for this will become clear as you go on. See figure 40. Now, you simply proceed to place the pieces of your columns one on top of the other, lining them up carefully as you go, and matching the flutings if they are fluted. Make a simple capital for the top, either a perfectly plain Doric capital, which is exactly like your base, only upside down, or a simple Ionic capital, as shown with a scroll design. Later, when you've become more experienced, you can try an elegant Corinthian capital with acanthus leaves. For the moment, though, I wouldn't suggest it. Place the capitals on top of the columns, making sure that the column is well centered under the capital. See figure 41. Listen, those capitals aren't on straight. Well, I somehow thought you'd think of that by yourself. Do I have to tell you everything? I told you to put the bases on nicely squared up, and I should think you'd have realized that the capitals should be going the same way. Oh, well, never mind now. Later you can straighten them all out somehow. They'll hold up the roof just as well, whether they're parallel or not. From here on out, it's all a snap. The worst is over. Now all you have to do is find a nice triangular piece of stone for your pediment. You may carve it if you wish with some scene from the classics or some other gods and goddesses. Put in a few horses and chariots, and there you are. Before putting up the pediment, place your lintels on your capitals, and this time line them up nicely as you go. Each piece of lintel should be just long enough to reach from the center of each column to the center of the next column, and of course you should miter the corner pieces to make a neat finish. On top of the lintel, put some nice long pieces of stone with a dentil carefully carved in the top. Now put up some rafters. Cover the rafters with some nice flat, thin pieces of stone for your roof, and place the pediment all exactly as shown. See figure 42. Perhaps you remember that I mentioned earlier the importance of placing the pieces of columns very precisely and of laying the plinth exactly level. And perhaps you remember that I mentioned that the reason for this would be made clear as the work progressed. Probably by now, you do see what I meant. However, don't worry. Your temple is just about finished and it's almost perfect. Now, for the finishing touches, I suggest that you take a stonecutter's mallet and gently tap the places where the columns aren't exactly even. You may find it necessary to insert a shim in some places. A shim is simply a small wedge of wood inserted with a hammer or mallet between two pieces of plinth or column or base in order to make them absolutely level and even. You might now, too, give each capital a gentle tap with your mallet to turn it around and make its sides parallel with the lintel and plinth. See figure 43. Ooh! Gosh, I think you may have hit it too hard. Oh well. Have you ever thought of whittling? Have a nice afternoon. See you another day.